Alright, so everyone, in this video we are going to discuss how we can steal the sensitive files if the website has vulnerability of directory transversing, right? This is actually pretty simple vulnerability, so I am just going to do a very quick overview. There is not much a theory, it's just very simple. So let's just get directly into the practical, and that way you will be able to understand what I mean here. So usually, what does path traversal mean, right? So it's like if the website is loading particular thing, let's say the image or block text or anything, there is going to be a function which is loading that, right? So if we provide the sensitive file name as a path, then it is possible that we will get the content of that particular file. So for example, this website is loading these images, right? And we will check how the images are loaded. So if you look here in the URL, it says image, and then we are sending a parameter which is file name is equal to 53.jpg. So what you can do is that you can give a custom file name, such as if it is a Linux, then the sensitive directories are the passwd, right? etc/passwd, in which you can identify the how many users are there. For example, if I say etc/passwd, if I say like that, then we can get the directory, only if no such file, of course. All right, so I think we should do this on the burp suite, that way we will be able to repeat it rather than typing manually here all the time. So let me just start the burp suite. Okay, so as you can see, there is this function image which is getting the 53 image, right? So I am just sending it to the repeater right now, and if I say forward 60 image 68, then all of these images are loaded one by one. So I am just turning off the intercept, and also here disable, right? And if I go to the repeater, what we are trying to access is that this is the Linux machine, right? How you can identify that the website is hosted on the Linux or it's on a Windows? Usually you can do a little bit of scanning and you will be able to identify what kind of it is, either using a WordPress or it may be using some sort of Apache server, and that way you will be able to understand what kind of operating system it is running on. Also you can use nmap, right? But this is the Linux operating system, and in the Linux there is this file which is what we call /etc/passwd, right? So I am giving direct path of that particular file. So what I am hoping is that this image function is taking parameter file name, and it is going to open any file which it is sending, which is given in the parameter, right? If I say this, then it should open that. If let's see what happens if we send, it says no file, no such a file, right? So that means website is not taking this kind of parameter, right? It may be a protected. So what you can try is that we can try a relative path, right? So right now we are in all right. So those of you who don't know how Linux file system works, so let me just show you that. So this is / directory, right? And this is where most of the time website is hosted, right? In this directory website is hosted if it's Apache. Okay, so what we are trying to do right now is that ///etc/. Alright, so what does that mean is that we are going to get into this directory, right? And we are going to access this file. So if I try like that, then let's see, does that work? Send. Yes, it worked and we solved the lab. But why does this file is sensitive, right? Because we can identify how many users are there and what kind of permissions they have, right? So what I am looking for is that /binbash, right? That's what I am looking for. So there is one which is root user, of course, there is going to be that, and then you can see this many users are there. Peter, Carlos, user, Elmer, Academy, right? These are the users which you can easily able to identify. If there is login, or what I mean is that if there is SSH login available, then you don't need to enumerate for user, you just found out the user, and then you can of course try, like then of course you can do you are just going to work on the how you can get the password for that particular user, right? Yeah. And also you can do a brute force here to identify as much as sensitive information you can. So I am going to do that. I am sending it to the intruder. We already solved the lab, but I am just trying to complete the basic thing into the one lab, right? So we have this here. I send it to payload load, and I have created this path traversal list, which is sensitive directory list of Linux. All right. You can find it online. It's very easy. Just go there and you will be easily able to find that. But this one is not going to work. Which one? As you can see, this one are not going to work. No. Oh, okay, there is home directory, right? So let me just start it. Let me just set the setting. What I am trying to do is that we can grab the response, right? Let's grab the response. We just got there. I am just looking here. Okay. Let's start the attack. And let's see how many file or how many information we can obtain from this. So bed request, okay. So we are able to find, of course, etc plus wd apache conf, in which you can of course find sensitive information, how the server is configured, and if you are able to read that, then there is possibility that you can exploit that also. If there is any kind of vulnerability or any kind of unsafe method is on, right, then you have cron tab. This will be helpful in the case you are exploiting something, and that is going to be an advanced level, right? If there is some sort of cron is running continuously on the machine, then you can potentially find a vulnerability there and exploit that. So that's also useful. There is this host information. Also there are many files which you can identify. There is this module interrupt file systems. Yep. So this is what I mean. If the website is vulnerable, website is not checking that what kind of input the function is going to receive, what kind of input this function is receiving. At that time you can actually obtain any file you want, right? If it's a Windows, then you will need to use the Windows parts, and you can find the list online. You don't need to do anything manually. You can find the list online and you can just set it to the bulb suite and it will work, right? So initially you just need to work out that what kind of way you can actually able to access that. The only thing you need to do is that, and afterwards you just brute force it, right? So we solved this lab, and let's go to the next lab, which is this. And the internet is actually very slow. Yeah, internet is actually very slow. Access the lab. Okay, so let's just access the lab. And what you need to do is that you need to keep this all vulnerabilities in mind, and then you can able to actually find the bugs in the system, and only then you will be able to find the access or gain the access to the system, right? So this is new we have, right? Let me turn off the intercept and let's send it there, and also okay. So let's see what happens. Here we have again, it is asking for the image file name function, right? And you don't need to use bulb suite at all the time. You can just work here also in the URL, but like you can just select here where it is. Yeah, you can just go to open image in new tab and you can do that again. That's also fine. So I send it to the repeater, right? Yeah. So again, what we are going to try is we are going to give an absolute path, which is etc/passwd. If this does not work, then we are going to try with the relative path. And if still it does not work, then we will try to do a URL encoding. So what we are doing is that we are trying to escape all type of possible prevention, right? If there is a very basic prevention, then you can bypass it. So if I send the request, let's see what happens. Yes, we identified the content, right? We got the content of etc/passwd, and if I refresh it, yeah, we solved the lab, right? These are very simple, but the impact of this common vulnerability is very big, right? You can even run an exploit if there is a file upload system. Let's say if there is a file upload system here somewhere, you are in your account, you are uploading your profile image, or you are uploading a PDF file, or any kind of file upload is available, and there the file upload system has a vulnerability that it does not check for that the particular JPG or PNG is uploaded. Then what you can do, you can actually upload your exploit and you can run it like this, and that way you may be able to get the reverse shell, right? I hope you are able to understand what I am saying this. If you have done a CTF before, then you would be able to understand what I mean here, but right now if you don't understand, don't worry, this is the basic thing that you must understand, or you should keep in mind that this way you can obtain the file informations, right? So we are completing this, okay. Then we have, which one? Yeah, we did that, and we are going to do this also. Then this lab is started, so let's just get into it. I already turned on the intercept, that way we don't need to wait here. Let's say it is there, repeater, turn off, go to repeater, right? And again we have this. What we are going to try is /etc/passwd, and let's send the request. No such file or directory. All right, that. Yes, if you are receiving this error, that means two things, right? Either this is not a Linux system, or the website has some sort of protection, or it is asking for the relative paths, right? That is also possible. And yes, if you are able to read the function, this image file, if there is image.php and you are able to download that and you are able to read that, then it's very easy. You can just easily exploit that, right? If you understand the basic programming of the PHP or whatever language they have coded that. So I am going to try with the relative path, which is etc/passwd, and let's send. What happens? Again, no such file or directory. Then I am going to try it this way, okay. And you can actually Google the cheat sheet for this, the file path traversal cheat sheet, and you will able to find all of this burp suite parameter. And also burp suite also has inbuilt scanner for this one, inbuilt pass list for this one. So if I send it, let's see what happens. Yes, we actually found all the content of that particular file, right? Let me send this to the active scanner, do active scan, and see what happens afterwards. Right now we just move towards other lab, right? We completed this one, I think, yeah, this one we completed this one as far I know. Then we have this. Let's go there. Okay, so let it do its work, and we start our lab. Okay, so we have this. I am sending it to the repeater, turn off. Let's go back. What I am going to try is /etc/passwd. right? Let's send it. What happens? So we are receiving no such file or directory, right? And I already know that this is Linux system, right? If I didn't know, then I would have tried with the Windows. Okay, so let's try relative path. So okay, let's send. What happens? No file such directory. Let's try then this way. No such files, right? Yeah, so it's possible that the website is taking some different way, right? So the one of the common ways, or the particularly on the Portugal, what I've seen is that they are saying the URL encode. What it means is that website is encoding this, right? Website is encoding this parameter into the URL encode, so which is URL encode all characters. So we have this, right? Control C, Control V, Control V. Let's send it. So again it is saying no such file, right? So then what we can try is we can re-encode this, or we can try to encode everything, but that's not what we saw on the first time, right? What we saw was that it was just straight up 33.jpg or .png. So there is also possibility that the website is asking for particular extension on the output here. So you can also give a null byte here, and you can also give null byte .png. That way the Linux system is not going to identify this as a entire thing or this as a file name, but rather only this, right? But right now let's try to re-encode it again. Okay, fuck. Control C, Control V, yeah, and let's send it. So yeah, this way we were also able to access the lab, and we found out the user, there is administrator which has access to the bin bash, right? So we can actually identify the information like this way. What happened to that active scan? Let me just see the active scan. Task 2, what I am talking about is task 4 only. So this one, view details, file path manipulation. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Okay, so as you can see, the Burp Suite has this inbuilt feature, right? Burp Suite tried this, and in response Burp Suite got the password file list, right? Burp Suite sent this second request, which is this way, and still it received no such file. All right. So you can identify. You can also try this, or Burp Suite also has the brute force list, which you can send to the intruder, and again you can do that, right? So let's go to the another lab. Okay, we completed this one. Then how many we completed? Yeah, we completed till here, so we need to do 2 things, right? So let's just go there. Okay, 20 minutes. I think in the loading all the time got spent, right? So I am starting the intercept. Send. Okay, now this is actually pretty easy. This one is actually pretty easy. As you can see, it is directly saying var/www/images. So there is this folder, right? In that particular, it is not in HTML, or maybe the website is on the HTML, but there is this folder, what, here. So what I am saying is this. So rather than HTML, so it may be possible that the content of HTML is here and the images are here, where images are here, like this way. Okay, I don't have permission. Of course I can need to use sudo, but you understand the point. So there is this images folder, and what is going on is that website is providing entire absolute path for that particular thing. So we can also provide the absolute path, which may be etc/passwd, and see what happens if we send the request. Missing parameter file name. Alright, so that means it is possible that the website is checking, like first it should be var www. If that's the case, then let's just do it this way and see what happens. Okay, it's still saying it is missing file parameter file name. Let me send this way. No such file. Alright, so website needs this prior, right? Website needs this. Website is checking this thing. So if in the starting is there var/www/images present or not. So if this is the case, then we may be able to bypass this way. So we are right now images www, and we are now on the slash, then etc/passwd. Let me try this way, and if we send the request, what happens? Yeah, we received the entire content of that particular file, right? So why it is not saying lab is solved? Yeah, so we solved the lab. Okay, so you will need to work around here this way, and that may be and this way you may be able to find the vulnerability, and you may be able to find the access to the database system, or maybe you will receive the entire contents of database. That is also possible, right? If you are just going to enumerate on that particular server folder, then it's a server directory, then it's very much possible that you can obtain very much useful information. You can steal way too many useful information.